The Athenian Empire, a dominant force in the ancient Greek world during the 5th century BCE, emerged from the ashes of the Greco-Persian Wars as a powerful maritime alliance known initially as the Delian League. Formed in 478 BCE under Athens' leadership, the League's primary purpose was to continue the fight against Persian encroachment and to ensure the freedom of the Greek city-states. Over time, however, Athens wielded its influence to transform this confederation into an empire, leveraging its formidable navy to assert control and exact tributes from its allies, thereby solidifying its supremacy throughout the Aegean Sea and surrounding areas. The significance of this transformation is profound. The rise of the Athenian Empire marked a golden age of prosperity and cultural achievement known as the Classical period, characterized by an unprecedented flourishing of arts, philosophy, and democracy. Athens became the epicenter of political innovation and cultural development, with achievements that included the construction of the Parthenon and the establishment of iconic democratic institutions. This period left a lasting impression on Western civilization, influencing governance, literature, architecture, and more. One notable example of the Athenian Empire's real-world impact is its role in fostering democracy, albeit limited to free male citizens. This system encouraged civic participation and set the groundwork for participatory governance models. In addition, the empire's patronage of the arts and philosophy allowed figures like Socrates, Plato, and Sophocles to thrive, producing works that underpin Western philosophical and dramatic traditions. Despite its legacy, the Athenian Empire faced significant challenges and controversies. Many Greek city-states viewed Athens' dominance and the coercive collection of tributes as oppressive, breeding resentment and prompting revolts, most famously the Peloponnesian War. This conflict, primarily between Athens and Sparta, ultimately contributed to the empire's decline, highlighting the fragile nature of hegemonic power when rooted in force rather than genuine alliance. Furthermore, some contemporary scholars argue that the empire's democratic ideals were paradoxical, given its imperialistic nature. As Athens' empire expanded, the freedom it lauded internally starkly contrasted with its authoritarian practices over subjugated states. Overall, the introduction to the Athenian Empire is crucial for understanding both the ascendant power dynamics of ancient Greece and the enduring complexities of empires. Its rise and eventual decline illustrate the inherent tensions between power, culture, and morality, an interplay that resonates through historical and modern contexts alike, echoing the timeless challenges of governance, cultural supremacy, and the pursuit of peace and justice within and beyond borders. The formation of the Delian League marks a pivotal moment in the rise of the Athenian Empire, underscoring Athens' emergence as a dominant power in the Greek world. Formed in 478 BCE, the Delian League was a coalition of Greek city-states led by Athens, ostensibly created to continue the fight against Persian aggression following the Greco-Persian Wars. Initially, it acted as a mutual defense pact where member states contributed ships or money for a common naval force. The significance of the Delian League lies in its transformation of Athens from one of many Greek city-states to the heart of an imperial power. While it began as an alliance for mutual protection, it gradually evolved into a tool for Athenian hegemony. As other states contributed funds, Athens increasingly controlled the League's resources, leading to the development of a vast naval empire. This enabled Athens to exert influence over the Aegean region, facilitating the growth of its economy, arts, and culture. A notable example of the League's operations was its military campaign against Persia, which successfully liberated several Greek cities in Asia Minor. However, the League's role in suppressing revolts from member states such as Naxos and Thasos illustrated its transformation from a voluntary alliance to an Athenian-controlled entity. These campaigns not only fortified Athens' territorial control but also demonstrated its willingness to impose its will for economic and political dominance. Supporters of the Delian League argue that it was necessary for Greek security and prosperity, offering protection against Persia while fostering economic cooperation. However, opponents critique its coercive nature, seeing it as a mechanism for Athenian imperialism. Philosophers like Aristotle later reflected on Athenian practices, criticizing the exploitation and subjugation of allied states. Controversies surrounding the Delian League include debates over its legitimacy and Athens' imperialistic agenda. While some city-states willingly participated for protection, others were compelled to join or stay, suffering under Athenian manipulation. Analysis reveals differing perspectives on its impact, with critics contending that it undermined true Greek unity and autonomy. The Delian League's formation directly influenced the broader trajectory of the Athenian Empire, setting the stage for its eventual decline. As Athens overextended itself, resentment grew among subjected allies, contributing to the Peloponnesian War, an event that led to Athens' downfall. Thus, while the Delian League epitomizes Athenian ascendancy, it also highlights the seeds of internal conflict and external opposition that eventually culminated in its decline, illustrating the complex dynamics of power and alliance in ancient Greece. The concept of Athenian political and cultural ascendancy refers to a period during which Athens emerged as a powerful and influential city-state, both politically and culturally, in ancient Greece. This ascendancy is characterized by the establishment of democratic governance, the expansion of political influence across the Aegean, and the flourishing of arts, philosophy, and architecture. This era, roughly occurring in the 5th century BCE, saw Athens not only as a leader in the Greek world, but also as a beacon of civilization that left a lasting legacy on the Western world. The significance of Athenian political and cultural ascendancy lies in how it elevated the city-state to the zenith of Greek civilization. Politically, Athens' development of democracy introduced revolutionary governance where citizens could participate directly in decision-making. This model has had a profound influence on modern democratic systems worldwide. Culturally, Athens became the cradle of Western art and thought, with figures like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle laying the foundations of Western philosophy. Two notable examples illustrate this point. First, the construction of the Parthenon on the Acropolis stands as a testament to Athenian architectural innovation and religious devotion. Completed in 447 BCE, it symbolizes the artistic and cultural prowess of the Athenian Golden Age. Second, the establishment of the Delian League around 478 BCE marked Athens' political power, as it formed an alliance to defend against Persian aggression and later transformed it into an Athenian empire. Opinions supporting Athenian ascendancy highlight its role in shaping modern intellectual and political landscapes. Many scholars regard Athens as the birthplace of classical philosophy and a pivotal point in developing governance based on civic participation. However, this ascendancy was not without controversy. The transformation of the Delian League into an Athenian empire drew criticism from other Greek city-states, leading to tensions and eventually the Peloponnesian War. The exertion of Athenian dominance is viewed by some as imperialistic, overshadowing the democratic ideals they purported to champion. This ascent connected intrinsically with other aspects of Athenian life, precipitating both the rise and decline of the Athenian Empire. The political influence, coupled with cultural achievements, economically sustained Athens, yet the very pursuit of power and subsequent conflicts sowed the seeds of its decline. In understanding Athenian political and cultural ascendancy, one sees how the peaks of power can lead to overreach, ultimately shaping the trajectory of empires through hubris and hegemonic ambition. Economic expansion and naval dominance were pivotal in the rise and decline of the Athenian Empire, acting as both a catalyst for its ascendancy and a contributing factor to its eventual downfall. The Athenian Empire, primarily during the 5th century BCE, saw tremendous growth due to its strategic positioning and control over maritime trade routes in the Aegean Sea. This economic expansion was fueled by agriculture, silver mining in Laurium, and, crucially, the tributes collected from the Delian League, an association of Greek city-states led by Athens. The significance of economic expansion and naval dominance in Athens cannot be overstated. Athens constructed a formidable navy consisting of triremes, which not only safeguarded its trade routes but also projected power across the Mediterranean. The naval dominance allowed Athens to impose its will over allied states, bolstering its economy through consistent tribute payments and enabling the city to embark on grand architectural endeavors, such as the Parthenon. One illustrative example is the Battle of Salamis in 480 BCE, where the Athenian navy, under the strategic acumen of Themistocles, decisively defeated the Persian forces. This victory showcased how naval prowess could alter the course of history and secure Athens' position as a leading power. Furthermore, the establishment of the Athenian Empire's long walls highlighted the intertwining of economic strength and military strategy, safeguarding Athens from land invasions and ensuring safe passage to its ports. Supporters of Athenian naval policies, like Pericles, argued that naval superiority was essential for maintaining Athenian hegemony and protecting democratic principles. However, the burdens of maintaining such an extensive fleet and empire created internal strains and resentment among subject states, contributing to the eventual conflicts of the Peloponnesian War. Critics and alternative viewpoints highlight that reliance on naval dominance and economic control sowed seeds of overextension, making Athens vulnerable to economic fluctuations and hostility from rival states like Sparta. The immense financial costs of continuous military campaigns and maintaining the empire also stretched Athenian resources. Economic expansion and naval dominance were inseparable from other aspects of the Athenian Empire, influencing its political structure and societal development. As the empire grew, so did the complexities of its governance and the volatility of its alliances. This interconnectedness underscores both the strengths and vulnerabilities inherent in an empire built on maritime prowess. Understanding this dual-edged nature provides insight into how the pursuit of power can lead to both the zenith of influence and the brink of collapse.